Sukyun was an ugly, dumb, useless child who failed miserably at school and had to enter a special school for monsters because he was too stupid for a normal school. On his way to school, the boy comes across a graveyard and suddenly gets hit by a bicycle. He looks up and finds himself staring at the hottest girl ever, who tries to wipe his bleeding nose. When he smells her perfumed hair, Mocha reveals that she's a vampire and bites his neck. Sukyun thinks she is fooling around and accepts her as a friend. Later in the classroom, the teacher reveals that Yakai is a monster academy, and here everyone has to keep their human forms in order to disguise their monster existences. One of the students comments that he would rather eat humans than lie with them. Sukyun is scared after hearing this, and he begins to tremble more when the teacher announces that if a human enters this academy, he must be killed instantly. Suddenly Mocha appears and hugs Sukyun. All of the students are furious because they cannot stand the fact that the hottest girl is hanging around with some failure like Sukyun. Seizo even tries to attack Sukyun in front of Mocha, urging her to be his girl. However, Mocha shoves him away. Later, Mocha tries to comfort Sukyun for being treated badly by Seizo. She asks him about the kind of monster he is, but then quickly drops the question because the teacher has refrained everyone from revealing their true monster forms. She reveals to him that she is wearing a necklace, and that if she removes it, she will turn into a scary vampire. She tells him that he is the first one whose red juice she has sucked, and she really found his red juice delicious. This horrifies Sukyun and he begins to run away.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
As he's terrified about what they might do to him once they find out he's a human. Mocha tries to stop him, but Sukyun has made up his mind. Mocha tells him that she hates humans and talks about how she used to be in a human school, where she was bullied for being different. However, Sukyun responds that just like her, he doesn't want monsters as friends. When Mocha looks confused, he reveals to her that he is a human, and then begins to desperately look for the bus stop. Unfortunately, Seizo comes along and changes into an orc. He attacks Mocha, and when Sukyun comes to save her, Seizo brutally kicks him and he falls down the hill, badly injuring him. Mocha tries to save him and tells him that it doesn't matter to her whether he is a human, as he will always be her friend. Sukyun accidentally pulls off her necklace and she transforms into a scary vampire. With a kick, she throws Seizo away with his tongue flying everywhere. Sukyun is not in his senses and he passes out. When he wakes up, he finds Mocha in her normal form and she gives him a bus schedule that states that the next bus will arrive after a month, which means Sukyun will have to wait. The next morning, Sukyun wakes up in his dorm room. In the restroom, he notices that the students are having difficulty retaining their human forms. In class, some ugly, disgusting losers are drooling over Mocha's beauty. Mocha appears in style, and as soon as she spots Sukyun, she rushes towards him and hugs him. The other dirty idiot losers get mad with jealousy, but nobody dares to confront Sukyun because of the rumor that he defeated Seizo the previous day. Later, the couple finds comfort deep in the forest, where Mocha hungrily bites Sukyun since she didn't have any breakfast that morning. An enraged Sukyun tells her that he is not her food. Near a pond, he finds a beautiful girl lying unconscious. He helps the girl to stand and brings her to the nurse's office. Meanwhile, Mocha feels guilty and decides to apologize to Sukyun. The girl introduces herself as Kirumu and forces Sukyun to look into her eyes. Sukyun gets hypnotized and begins hugging her passionately when Mocha arrives.
Oh my god! Wow!
She tries to stop Sukyun from going away with Kirumu. The hypnotized boy tells her that he is tired of being her food all the time. Mocha's feelings are hurt and Sukyun wonders why he was so mean to her. In class, Mocha and Kirumu continue to glare at each other. Later, she reveals to Mocha that she is planning to make all the boys at Yakai Academy fall madly in love for her, and as a succubus, it is quite easy for her. She hates Mocha for grabbing all the attention and plans to steal all of that away from her. Sukyun finds them and tries to apologize to Mocha, but Kirumu hypnotizes him again, making him insult Mocha even more. Poor Mocha runs away crying, while Kirumu laughs hysterically. Later, Kirumu tries to hit the final nail to the coffin by kissing him to put him under his permanent spell, but they are interrupted by Mocha's inner voice telling her that Sukyun's life is in danger. Back at the nurse's office, Sukyun breaks free from Kirumu and hugs her tightly. He tells her that he cannot deceive Mocha, and this makes Kirumu very angry. She transforms into a demon and tries to kill him, but Mocha arrives and pushes her out of the window. Kirumu flies back and takes the two with them. She drops them in the forest outside. Mocha urges Tsukyun to remove her necklace, but she's unable to do so. Hiromu is about to kill them both when Mocha pleads with her to spare Tsukyun because he is the only friend she has. Hiromu mocks her because she feels that men are only slaves. Tsukyun feels guilty about his previous thoughts about Mocha and pulls off her necklace, thus transforming Mocha to her inner self. Hiromu gets frightened by her and says that she is just trying to prevent her species from going extinct. They get into a fight, and Mocha grabs her tail and kicks her away. Mocha threatens to cut off her wings and nails, but Tsukyun comes in the middle and stops Mocha because according to him, Kirumu's intentions were not bad. Later, Tsukyun finally apologizes to Mocha for his behavior when Kirumu barges in, announcing that she has chosen Tsukyun to make plot with, which makes Mocha furious. The midterm exam scores are revealed, and Tsukyun has failed miserably. However, Mocha has aced her tests and has become even more popular. She rushes towards Tsukyun, and all the other guys are still jealous that such a beauty is hanging out with a short, dumb, ugly, smelly, weak loser. They are being observed by a young girl named Yukari, who is approached by 3 bullies and is teased for her ugly appearance. When things get out of hand, Yukari uses her magic to drop heavy tubs on them, and the bullies are about to retaliate when Mocha comes in between and warns him not to attack girls. Since a crowd is about to gather to watch the chaos, they choose to retreat. Mocha and Tsukyun take Yukari to the cafeteria, where she reveals that she is 4 years younger than them and has skipped grades due to her intelligence. Suddenly, she jumps on Mocha and shows her deep obsession for her. When she asks Mocha out, Tsukyun's tongue sticks out like a lizard and his nose begins to have a red waterfall. In the hall, Tsukyun confronts her but she insults him and uses her magic to drop cleaning supplies over him, badly bruising him. Kirumu bandages Tsukyun and grabs the opportunity to get closer to him. Yukari secretly watches and uses a voodoo doll to control Tsukyun's body. Mocha suddenly barges in the room and is heartbroken.
Yeah, boy, help me. Yeah, boy.
However, poor Tsukyun keeps on clarifying his actions are not in sync with his words. They spot Yukari snooping on them and laughing hard. Tsukyun wants to teach her a lesson when Mocha stops him and tells him that there might be a reason behind her behavior. Yukari's past reveals that she used to be very lonely and that nobody wanted to be around her because she was a witch. Because of her trauma, Yukari decided to play pranks on everyone. Yukari bumps into those bullies from before, who kidnap and take her deep into the forest. Meanwhile, Kirumu tells Tsukyun that since witches are somewhat in between monsters and humans, they have always been hated by both. Elsewhere, the bullies place Yukari beside a pond and they turn into Mark Zuckerberg. They turn into lizard men. They plan to eat her in order to get rid of her. However, Mocha jumps in between and tries to ward off those lizards. When one of them is about to attack Yukari, Tsukyun jumps forward to save her, but while doing so his back gets horribly hit. Kirumu arrives and rescues Yukari and Tsukyun. Tsukyun pulls off Mocha's necklace and she turns into an SS rank vampire again. The leader doesn't understand what happened and thinks that she dyed her hair, which goes against school rules. Mocha then effortlessly defeats all of the ugly weird Mark Zuckerbergs with her dominant girl powers. Tsukyun assures Yukari that from now onwards, they will all be her friends and she will never be alone again. Later, Yukari apologizes to the whole class for behaving inappropriately. But because of this, Yukari has fallen in love with Tsukyun, adding another enemy for the girls. The following day in class, the teacher asks Tsukyun to calculate the mass and width of the cigar galaxy, which makes him freak out like the stupid idiot that he is. On the rooftop, Mocha senses that Tsukyun is not being himself lately. However, he says that he's just feeling a little sleepy. Mocha looks lovingly at him, not just because she has deep feelings for him, but also because she has an urge to drink some fresh red juice. But Kirumu arrives and criticizes Mocha for drinking too much red juice lately, and recommends she starts drinking some white juice instead. Tsukyun defends Mocha by saying that she cannot help it, as she needs red juice to remain healthy. Later, Tsukyun encounters 3 students who have formed a club against him, and they claim that he's their #1 enemy. They begin beating Tsukyun and his meat for spending too much time with their 3 honey birds. However, Yukari arrives in time and drives them away with her magic. Mocha and Kirumu arrive as well, and the 3 loners drool over their idols as if they are Madison beer. As if they are Marin. You know what, never mind. Yukari throws cleaning supplies at them for their punishment. However, a bucket accidentally hits Tsukyun and knocks him out. Later, those idiots are having a cult meeting about their crushes, and these bastards have even printed pictures of them like the disgusting fatzos that they are. At the cafeteria, the four friends are discussing how to get rid of those weaklings. They talk about how Tsukyun is the real problem, since he is the weakest of them all. Tsukyun gets up and begins to walk away. He listened a little too much to those red pill gurus and can now no longer handle being weaker than a bunch of girls. He decides to pack his things and heads towards the bus station, because today the bus will finally head to Yokai Academy. Meanwhile, the three Fatzos confront Tsukyun and transform into their weakling beta male monster forms. The three lovely ladies arrive immediately. The ugly losers combine their powers and transform into a massive, even uglier monster, thinking that they are the Power Rangers.
Emotional damage!
Tsukyun removes Mocha's necklace, reawakening the monster inside her. With the help of her friends, she whoops their ass and defeats them. The ladies try their level best to stop Tsukyun from leaving the school. But to their happiness, Tsukyun clarifies that he's just sending a bag full of letters to his parents on the other side. Good news reaches Tsukyun that a payphone has been installed which is connected to the human world. Additionally, the bus will arrive daily from now onwards due to an overwhelming demand, which makes Tsukyun happy. During PE, Tsukyun is playing soccer and the audience is wildly cheering for him. After the match, Tsukyun offers Mocha some of his sweet red juice, but then it's revealed that Tsukyun was daydreaming the entire time. Later in class, the teacher advises all students to join clubs to suit their talents and also to get a better understanding of humans. Mocha and Tsukyun decide to join the club's fair. They look around for hours but don't find anything good. They come across a group of beautiful girls in swimsuits that are inviting students to join their swim club. The leader of the club urges him to join. Tsukyun loves the idea as he'll be able to impress Mocha with it. At the pool, Tamao tries to get close to Tsukyun to Mocha's anger. Mocha confronts them in sheer rage, but Tamao splashes water at her and Mocha flees. Tsukyun is about to go after Mocha when Kirumu and Yukari dive at him, making him fall backward into the pool. Meanwhile, Mocha reaches an alley when the inner Mocha tells her that water is poison for vampires, and for that, they have to neutralize it with herbs for bathing purposes. The inner Mocha also urges her to end things with Tsukyun because he clearly doesn't care about her. Tamao is trying her level best to lure Tsukyun towards herself, but to his horror, Tsukyun notices that the guys who were swimming earlier all turned old and gray. The swim ladies are actually trying to suck their meat.
What do you mean by that?
He realizes that those ladies are actually mermaids who love devouring human flesh. When Tamao is about to sink her teeth into Tsukyun's meat, Mocha arrives and jumps in the pool without hesitation. She immediately begins to drown, but Kirumu grabs Tamao and Tsukyun tries to save Mocha. He pulls off her necklace and she transforms to her powerful self again. The mermaids try splashing water on her, but Kirumu stops them. Thinking that she's been hurt, Tamao rushes towards Mocha, but she jumps into the air and kicks her ugly face into a fishnet. The inner Mocha gets out of the water and slaps Tsukyun for being an inconsiderate, selfish little dumb boy for not considering Mocha's feelings. Later that day, Tsukyun apologizes to Mocha for being a prick and she forgives him. Their teacher recommends to join the newspaper club and the whole gang accepts. The following day, Mocha sucks some of Tsukyun's sweet red juice and our poor lad fears that he might kick the bucket from a lack of red juice. They soon arrive at the newspaper club and are surprised that there are only 4 members. However, a handsome guy arrives and presents the ladies with a bouquet of flowers. The teacher explains that Jin is a senior member, making him the club president. The members discuss that they must try to find that creepy peeper that has been stalking and taking pictures of girls lately. Jin asks Mocha and Kirumu to put on some flyers. Tsukyun wonders why he asked such a silly thing and realizes that Jin is being an ugly, disgusting bastard. He confronts Jin in front of everyone, and when the girls hear this, Jin puts all the blame on Tsukyun, claiming that he is the ugly, disgusting bastard. Tsukyun gets slapped by the girls and is left alone. Mocha leaves angrily and finds peace in the bathroom, where her inner voice warns her about Jin, since he has a bad aura around him. In the morning, Tsukyun tries to apologize to Mocha, but she gives him the cold shoulder. Meanwhile, Jin overhears 2 girls discussing Mocha and Tsunuk's romantic relationship, which makes him boil with rage because even this idiot has strong feelings for Mocha. The girls hear his screams, but he vanishes and Tsukyun arrives, making them think that he is the fat, ugly, disgusting peeper. Jin then wins the trust of Tsukyun by assuring him that he believes that he is not the culprit. He leads Tsukyun to a window and asks him to climb the drum and peek into the window. The naive idiot follows his instructions, only to realize that the window leads to the girls' locker room. Tsukyun becomes baffled and then Jin cleverly takes his pictures for evidence. The girls inside catch Tsukyun peeping at them and then begin to thrash him. Hiromu and Yukari hear about this, but they feel that something isn't right and decide to investigate the matter. On the roof, Mocha is in deep thoughts when Jin arrives and shows her the evidence against Sukyun. Jin tells her that Mocha is such a desperate peeker that he actually moved a drum to peep inside the window. Hiromu and Yukari overhear them and ask him how he knows this, since that isn't visible in the pictures. Jin mumbles a bunch of nonsense about how he investigated the place. With all the evidence against him, Yukari and Hiromu declare Jin to be the real peeper. Jin doesn't give up and transforms into a powerful werewolf. He attacks Mocha, but Sukyun arrives just in time to pull off Mocha's necklace to unleash her vampire powers. Mocha tries to attack, but he's too fast since it's a full moon. He shows off his incredible speed, but Mocha blocks him thanks to a cloud. Nonetheless, he goes for another attack, but he gets whooped by Mocha. The next morning, flyers are placed by the newspaper club in order to clear Sukyun's name as the peeper, and Jin is being chased down by the girls for a good thrashing. That same day, the newspaper club sells all of its copies and the group decides to hold a celebration party. They look around for Jin, but he's already fooling around with some girls again. Suddenly, an unknown girl comes by and asks Sukyun for a newspaper. Bizarrely, the girl takes a strange liking to Sukyun.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
In the class, it is revealed that the girl's name is Mizore. She was supposed to join at the start of the year, but decided to skip all classes until now. After the class, Mizore is observing Sukyun. She comes out and expresses her interest in Sukyun's work in the school newspaper. She tells him how her teacher used to always bring his articles to her while she skipped classes. In the staff room, the PE teacher asked the class teacher to keep an eye on Mizore because according to him, she has an unusual personality and caused several problems at her old school. Meanwhile, in the forest, Mizore and Sukyun are hanging out with each other. Sukyun tries to head out for the party, but Mizore clings to him. She blackmails him by saying that something tragic will happen to Mocha if he doesn't obey her. She urges Sukyun that he belongs to her and her alone. While Mocha is waiting for everyone at the club, Mizore enters dripping wet. She then begins attacking Mocha, who slaps her, destroying a part of her head. Mizore reveals that she is actually an ice puppet.
Oh, hell no!
She then turns her hand into an ice blade and charges towards Mocha. At the pond, Sukyun is thrown away by Mizore, and he realizes that she is actually an ice fairy. To his luck, Hiromu and Mocha arrive. It turns out that Hiromu saved Mocha from the puppet. Mizore attacks the two, but they free Sukyun. When she tries attacking Mocha, Sukyun blocks her attack and says that he isn't a lonely loser like her. This breaks Mizore's heart and she vanishes. Later it is heard that Mizore has attacked the PE teacher, who is now hospitalized. Mizore is on the verge of getting expelled when Sukyun decides to talk to her. He finds her on the cliff and gently asks her to apologize to the teacher. However, the girls come running and show Sukyun some of Jin's photos that prove that Mizore was in fact attacked by Mr. Katsubo, and she actually defended herself against him. When Sukyun learns this, he apologizes to Mizore. But in turn, she creates many ice puppets who all carry negative emotions. However, the cliff where Mizore is standing on falls. Sukyun grabs her and the girls are surrounded by the ice puppets. Mocha rushes towards him, but he pulls off her necklace, awakening the inner Mocha. With her cold blick, she destroys the puppets by looking at them. After saving the two, she kicks the living hell out of Mizore for running her big mouth about dying. She then also destroys all the ice dolls. At the school, the group compliments Jin for taking those pictures. Jin thanks them, but some naughty, disgusting loser pictures fall out of his coat, resulting in him getting a nice beating. The guys at Yakai Academy are completely head over heels over Ms. Ririko, the math teacher. Basically, they are lonely, ugly, fat, disgusting, weak, short, smelly simps. In class, Ms. Ririko points out to Sukyun that he's really weak in math and needs to work really hard on it. He asks Mocha to help him with his bedroom problem. Math problem. She invites him to come to her dorm at night, which freaks him out. Hiromu also offers to help and so does Yukari as she was born ugly. A genius. Mizore arrives as well and asks for help since she missed a lot of school lately. Sukyun refuses, but Mocha suggests that they should all study together. Yukari explains a formula that they can use to calculate the immense weight of Sukyun's mom.
Emotional damage!
Later, Ms. Ririko asks Sukyun and Mocha about their newspaper club activities, and Mocha tells her that they were having a study session instead. Ms. Ririko says that these study sessions are a total waste of time because students do nothing but fool around. She then asks Sukyun to join her for tutoring lessons. The next day, when Sukyun attends Ms. Ririko's lessons, he is shocked to see her in a sus outfit. However, she reasons that this will make him study harder. To everyone's horror, Sukyun has completely transformed and all he's mumbling is math formulas. Mocha approaches him and shows him the notes she prepared for him. However, Ririka arrives and criticizes her for distracting Sukyun. She tells Mocha that she is the reason why Sukyun is doing horrible in class. It is revealed that Ririko is a cobra-like monster who uses her tail to give shocks to Sukyun, which makes him focus completely on his studies. He begins to scream and his cries are heard by Mocha, who heads towards the room. Mizore also reaches there and tries to attack Ririko with her snow gust. Mocha hits Ririko with a candle which distracts her, and Sukyun gets hold of Mocha's scattered notes and he breaks free from his hypnosis. He immediately pulls off the necklace, transforming Mocha to her inner vampire. With her silky powerful legs, Mocha makes an MMA move on Ririko, and Mizore freezes her solid. On the day of the finals, Sukyun has forgotten everything he was taught. After the finals, Mocha and Sukyun are discussing the test and Sukyun thanks Mocha for being so helpful, since he got an awesome grade thanks to her. At the newspaper club, the teacher announces that they will be going to the human world for summer vacation. Mocha is a little skeptical because she lived in the human world for a long time and strongly disliked it. However, Sukyun assures Mocha that he will protect her. They are about to kiss when they are interrupted by the other girls. As the bus arrives, Sukyun wonders where Jin is, and Yukari tells him that he failed too many subjects so he has to take makeup exams. When they reach the human world, Sukyun yells in excitement because he's finally back home. The other girls question him about his excitement, and Mocha makes up a story that he used to live in the human world before coming to Yakai. As they arrive at a beach, the gang is playing volleyball and is having a lot of fun, while their teacher drools over some raw fish. Later, when Mocha and Sukyun are sharing a lovely moment, Kirumu calls him to join them in the water. But Sukyun refuses because Mocha cannot go into the water, so instead, he kisses her. Mocha tries to drink his red juice, which ignites a tug of war between the girls. Later, they notice a sunflower field on the hill and decide to investigate, only to learn that a witch has been abducting people over here. After everyone leaves, a mysterious girl appears in the flower field and reports the presence of another witch. In the evening, Yukari is turned down by the group, who won't let her help with anything. Hurt, she goes to investigate the field, and the mysterious witch introduces herself as Ruby, and unexpectedly they become friends. Soon Sukyun appears and finds both Ruby and Yukari. Ruby thinks of Sukyun as her enemy and summons many monster plants, but Yukari slays them all, saying that she cannot hurt her friends. Ruby ties her down and calls more monster plants, but Yukari calls her powerful cards and slays the plants again. Everyone arrives and Yukari tells Ruby that they cannot be friends as she can't stay here. Everyone leaves, and Sukyun and Mocha are finally alone. But Sukyun gets attacked by Ruby. This fries Mocha's necklace, unleashing her true form. Ruby is unconscious, but she wakes up in a tent. Sukyun offers her some tea. However, Ruby is not pleased. Sukyun assures her that they only want to hear her story and her past. Ruby tells them that her hill is a place where many witches lived in peace for a very long time, until the humans arrived. They ripped the place to shreds and destroyed everything. All of this has made her hate humans. However, Yukari says that all lives are precious. The others back her up, and Ruby becomes furious and says that the hill is her only place to stay. Mocha tells Ruby that she is always welcome to Yakai Academy. Ruby likes what she sees and watches them with great interest as the gang has some serious fun. So at night, when everyone is asleep, Ruby comes out and returns to Witch Hill because she feels that it is too late to change everything. She tells her ladyship what she has seen, but instead, she is entangled in vines. The group wakes up and realizes that Ruby is missing and head to the Witch Hill. The girls get caught in vines controlled by Ruby, who has again turned into a sour monster. They try to reason with her, but Ruby ignores them and orders the monster to finish off the club. Kirumu and Yukari free themselves and begin fighting the monsters aggressively. Sukyun decides to save Mocha, but Ruby buries him and Mocha into a sea of plant monsters, and the rest of the gang panics about how they will rescue them. With his negative IQ brain, he pulls off the necklace and reawakens the inner Mocha. The transformation releases so much energy that it frees them. Mocha then goes to fight with Ruby, who slashes Mocha with her razor-sharp wings, but Mocha defeats her. Ruby doesn't stop and reveals that all this is her ladyship's demand. Mocha breaks free and Kaik flies Ruby. After freeing Sukyun, he leaves and runs towards the house he saw earlier while the girls clear the path for him. While arriving at the house, Sukyun finds roots coming out of it, thinking that they might be controlling those plant monsters and Ruby. He then finds her ladyship, but is shocked at what he sees. He runs towards the gang, where they are exhausted fighting the snake plant monsters again and again. He tells Ruby that the old witch is long dead and she is in a state of denial. Although her ladyship had died in front of her, Ruby had been living with a false image of her this whole time. The girl traumatically breaks down and is surrounded by a powerful aura of black magic. Yukari and Kirumo fight back, but Mocha has been entangled in the vines and has gotten attached to Ruby. Yukari says that they have to destroy Ruby's wand in order to free her. Mocha quickly shatters it, causing a huge explosion. In the morning, Jin surprises them by bringing an unconscious Ruby in his arms and says that he found her floating in the ocean, as if something was keeping her safe. Like all great things, summer vacation comes to an end, and the group returns to school. The newspaper club has printed a new article, which includes their adventure at Witch Hill. Sukyun finds the fashion tips a little too much. Mizore then arrives and tries to get close to Sukyun, before Kirumu angrily tells them all to focus on the paper. However, at the gate they find 3 girls already handing out their own newspapers called the Yakai Square. Kirumu loses her temper and yells at them and wonders what they are doing. The girls assure her that they are an official club. Kato arrives and introduces herself as the Super Newspaper Club president. She points out that they found their articles boring, so they decided to introduce their own newspaper. After they leave, Sukyun and his friends try handing out their paper, but the students aren't interested in reading it as it lacks color and swimsuit bunnies. They go to the class teacher and learn that the school plans to discontinue whichever club has the least popularity. Kirumu suggests they need to keep at it and get as many readers as they can. She asks everyone to hold a meeting and says that they don't need Jin as he's probably doing some ugly, disgusting loser boy things again. The next day, Kirumu and Yukari dress like maids in order to make guys buy their newspaper. Kirumu even gives cookies to eat with the newspaper as a present to those who sign up. However, they are outsmarted by the Super Newspaper Club when the 3 girls arrive in swimsuits and offer free pictures of themselves to those who read their paper. Kirumu is shocked by this, wondering if they can even do that. Yukari is then harassed by an actual fat, disgusting failure which makes her flee, and Kirumu knocks him out as hard as a butcher beats his meat. In the news club room, Kirumu assures Yukari, telling her that they have to come up with something else. However, Sukyun and Mocha arrive with Jin, who tells them not to compete with the club as the security committee is behind them. Jin explains that the security committee is corrupt to its roots. They couldn't handle the popularity of their newspaper, which is why they created a rival club. He tells everyone to burn the newspapers. At the fireplace, Sukyun and Kirumu are left behind. Kirumu suggests to disobey Jin's order and distribute the papers instead. She starts crying, but the 3 ladies start teasing them. Their newspapers are suddenly pulled away by Kato, who thanks the 3 for informing her. Sukyun tries to get some answers from her, but he learns that Jin was hiding something from them. Kato tosses their papers into the furnace. Kirumu gets attacked by the girls and Sukyun tries to help her, but he gets caught in Kato's silk and hangs above them. Kato then transforms into her true form, a huge spider. Kirumu recognizes her real uniform and realizes that she is from the school committee. The girl compliments her on being a good reporter.
Wow! Beautiful!
But claims that the committee exists to preserve order and defend justice. Kirumu is then trapped in Kato's web and is held in place by her 3 mini-monsters. As Kato prepares to inject venom into Kirumu, she is stopped by Mizore, who distracts her with ice spikes. Kato tries to trap her, but Mocha and Yukari arrive, and as Mocha tries to free Sukyun, he accidentally pulls off her necklace. Mocha then transforms to her true vampire form. She frees Sukyun and Kato is in shock. Kirumu demands to be freed, but Mocha tells her to do it herself. Kirumu does so and Kato becomes annoyed that her prey was taken from her and shoots a string of silk at Mocha. However, she is proved to be much weaker than inner Mocha, who pulls the ugly spider girl towards her and Naruto kicks her and her little minions back to hell. Later, Sukyun decides that the news club should expose the corrupt committee and everyone agrees with him. Meanwhile, the head of the committee learns of Kato's defeat. As he goes over the files on the club members, everyone's monster identity is listed except for Sukyun. The head then chuckles that they are in for the best show they have seen in some time. The following day, the group goes on a mission to put together evidence of the committee's crimes, which includes blackmailing students for money, accepting bribes, and even force. The only problem that they face now is a lack of witnesses who are willing to testify, as they are afraid of the consequences of doing so. Unexpectedly, Mizore activated big brain power and asked the 3 ugly, fat, disgusting, smelly, sour losers to act as witnesses for them. But when they approach these bastards, they discover that the committee has taken them away. At the same time, Kuyo, who's the head of the security committee, learns about some of the things that those fat clowns had to say. The following day, Mocha notices Tsukyun's exhaustion as he has been tirelessly working on the newspaper. Mocha tells him that lately, Tsukyun has really been looking like a strong alpha male Chad. She goes in to suck his sweet red juice but is interrupted by Kirumu. The other girls arrive as well, and I'm sure that Andrew Tate would be proud of this weakling right now. On the roof, Jin spots the security committee approaching their classroom. As Kuyo himself enters, he walks to Tsukyun and accuses him of being a human, which shocks everyone. Under suspicion of helping a human, Kuyo arrests the other girls as well, which leaves their fellow students watching in shock. Yukari tries to free her friends but is swiftly blocked by Jin, who tells her that there are way too many of them. We're then taken to the committee's headquarters, where Tsukyun is presented with video recordings of several students, who all confess that he's just as weak as a human and also smells like one. Even his own friends can't confirm whether he is actually a monster, as they have never seen him transform. Kuyo threatens to hurt Mocha if he doesn't confess. With no other options left, Tsukyun gives in and confirms that he is a human. Kuyo teleports the girls to the room, who can't believe what they just heard. Mocha is moved to tears and mourns about Tsukyun's decision to reveal the truth. Kirumu becomes furious and slaps Mocha for knowing the truth all along. Against Mocha's will, Kuyo releases Mizore and Kirumu while imprisoning Mocha for helping with Tsukyun's fraud. Kuyo then declares Tsukyun guilty of being human and sentences him to death. Back at the newspaper club, Mizore and Kirumu deliver the shocking news that Tsukyun is indeed a human. Outside the school's walls, the committee is preparing for Tsukyun's execution. He is displayed in a crucifixion-style position, awaiting to meet his end. In her cell, Mocha tries to rip off her necklace, but to no success. Since Tsukyun hid his human identity, the director of Yokai Academy has forbidding all intervention to save him. As Tsukyun's expiry date comes closer, he reflects on the things that led him to this situation. With a smile on his face, Tsukyun requests one final act of kindness from Kuyo, the protection of his fellow newspaper club members. Kuyo is taken aback by such a selfless request from a human. He promises that his friends will not suffer unnecessary harm, since their deaths will be quick and painless. Meanwhile, Mizore is staring at the ocean, thinking about the time Tsukyun had saved her life. A mysterious voice urges her to take action, prompting her to look up and notice a crow. Nearby, Yukari tries to convince Kirumu to rescue Tsukyun. She says that his human identity shouldn't make her forget that he was the first person to show her kindness after she suffered mistreatment from other monsters. The same mysterious crow appears once more. Deep down in the dungeon, Mocha feels hopeless over her inability to help Tsukyun. Her inner voice questions whether she has given up on rescuing Tsukyun. The crow appears again and bends the prison bars, creating an opening large enough for Mocha to escape. The crow then reveals itself as Ruby. She is soon joined by the other girls. Kirumu slaps Mocha as she is still frustrated that she kept Tsukyun's secret from him. Back at school, Kuyo proceeds with Tsukyun's execution, covering him in flames. However, Mizore's ice extinguishes the flames, and Kirumu and Ruby swoop down to rescue the boy. Kuyo is surprised and asks whether they understand the gravity of their actions. He reveals a harsh incident from last year where Jin tried to expose them, since he believed the truth mattered more. Kuyo orders his top 3 monsters to destroy them. A fierce battle starts as Yukari beats them with wash tubs, while Mizore finds herself struggling against the golem. The crowd of students witness this surprising turn of events as the newspaper club gains the upper hand. Kuyo goes after Kirumu and Ruby, who are still carrying Tsukyun. Mocha races towards the roof where the rest of the group is hiding. Tsukyun is happy he escaped his death, but Kuyo hits him with a fireball, burning his whole body. As he struggles to continue, Tsukyun begs Mocha to protect their friends from Kuyo's wrath and pulls off her necklace. The inner Mocha is awakened, and her blood is boiling. She then walks to Tsukyun and says that he's still alive. But suddenly, a fox demon appears in front of them, who is Kuyo. Fox demons are very powerful and they can use their tails to spin around like a fire wheel. As Kuyo attacks them, it is seen that Jin shielded them from the blast. Since vampire blood contains healing abilities, Mocha bites Tsukyun and gives him her blood. Meanwhile, the girls protect Mocha and Tsukyun from Kuyo, but they are no match for his power. Ruby and Yukari combine their powers and shoot magic cards at Kuyo. Kuyo burns these, but their ashes form a huge crow which attacks his eye. He screams in agony and it looks like they won. But it turns out that he changed into his ultimate form. He raises his hand and shoots a gigantic explosion at them. The shock is even felt by the students, who are all wondering whether this was caused by Nikado Advocato, who just went to the toilet. The girls manage to survive, but are now completely defenseless. However, Mocha appears and she hits Kuyo with all her strength, but to little success. It turns out that she gave Tsukyun too much of her blood, which has now weakened her. Kuyo lands a ton of blows on her and claims that humans are petty-minded, selfish, and lazy creatures who hurt other living things without a second thought. However, Tsukyun rescued Mocha thanks to her blood. Kuyo, on the other hand, is not defeated, and he furiously rushes towards them, but Jin grabs him. Mocha tells him how he's an out-of-control, ugly, weird, smelly, small-sized, hairy loser and kicks him into the ground. Mocha puts on her necklace, and everyone comes rushing towards them, wondering if the hole was caused by Nikado Advocado. They soon realize that it was not Nikado but Tsukyun, who is clearly a monster because only a monster could beat Kuyo. At the hospital, Tsukyun brings Mocha a bouquet of roses and thanks her for saving him. He begins to blush and realizes that he's in love with both Mochas. As he's about to kiss her, the others storm in and they all tease him. Watch this next video and I'll see you next time.